As the blue Zerg, it's Bly. And in the top right, it's the red Zerg, JimRising. Jim taking down Avalo 2-1 in a hard-fought series. Bly is going to be going pool first here. It's a gasless opener so far, so we are going to see an expand behind this. Oh, it's a pull first out of JimRising as well, but... Jim going for a couple more drones before he drops it. Bly a little bit more, shall we say, aggressive on his pull timing. Bly with 8 lings and then a hatch. Jim should have 6 lings to defend this though back at home, and depending on how he micros, shouldn't take too much in damage here. First queen started up for a red player. Bly continuing to commit to lings behind this. Bly a very cheesy Zerg in all matchups. Jim sneaking out his lings. Oh no. Bly can just kind of beeline into the main if he wants to, or he can threaten the hatch. Actually, he might be able to get the cancel on the hatch. Jim isn't turning around. He's continuing to commit to his aggression as well. Bly is droning up a little bit though. Bly did it. Bly canceled the hatch of JimRising. He's going to flood into the main, get a surround on the queen. There's the pick on the queen, and this drone line is open season. Bly going to hold with 2 lings and the queen. This number of lings actually can't engage that. And he's going to get even more reinforcements out. Jim will clean up the lings with the drones, however, 7 drones go down, and a lot of them are heavily damaged and softened up for later. Bly going to have greater larva production here, thanks to, well, 2 hatches and 2 queens. Jim is going to need a big brain play to come back into this game. Oh no. Losing this Overlord would be absolutely devastating here for JimRising, and he does! Jim finally remaking the queen. GG! In the bottom right corner, as the blue Zerg, it's Bly. And in the top left, as the red Zerg, it's JimRising. Bly with a well-executed 14 pull. Jim going pool first, but sending his lings to attack across the map. And not having anything to defend against Bly. There's not much more to say. Bly wrapped around the hatch, canceled it, killed the queen, and when you're in a ZVZ, you just can't surmount that kind of larva production from your opponent. When you're producing larva one at a time on one hatch. Hatch first from both players this time around. Bly gonna have earlier gas, and that of course means earlier ling speed. Jim dropping his gas pretty late here, actually. I think Bly just actually has a flat-out advantage. Already on 50 gas, climbing to 60. This is actually going to be like a 30-second difference in link speed in favor of Bly. Which is absolutely devastating in a ZVZ. Question is, will he recognize his advantage and capitalize on it? Oh, okay, no, he's just not gonna make link speed. Not like this! Oh, is he going into lair? He might be going into lair. But he has the gas and the queens aren't finished. Jim's not getting link speed either. Okay, there's the lair from Bly, but it's pretty delayed here. Jim is also skipping link speed. I mean... this could just be straight into roaches from Jim. No, he's just getting really late link speed. I don't actually know what's going on in this game. There's the Roach Warren from Bly, there's the Evo Chamber. Okay, Jim totally canceled link speed. He's going for an Evo Roach Warren. Both players even in workers, but Bly definitely way ahead in tech, already getting +1 started up. I think JimRising might actually just flat out lose. I mean, Bly has earlier +1, Bly is going to have earlier roach speed, and Bly is going to have a higher roach count ultimately. He has 400 gas in the bank here. There's the first 3 roaches, first 7 roaches on the production tab for JimRising, first 5 roaches here for Bly. JimRising going for a Nidus play. Oh, Bly's a little bit supply blocked here. That's not good when your opponent's going for a Nidus. He's going to need to spend these larvae very quickly, get that roach count up, shooting through the roof. He has so much in the bank. He has so much in the bank. Jim has the Overlord in position. The Nidus is seconds away from finishing, and Bly is pulling his roaches out onto the map. Jim also dropping a third behind this. He's sending several roaches to the front. Okay, he's going to defend the third. Nidus is finished for the red player. A Spire play from Bly. Jim will be able to defend this quite handily. In the end, the roach speed and the earlier +1 didn't end up mattering here for Bly, because he just got supply blocked and didn't attack. Jim's first Nidus will get shut down, the Overlord getting picked off as well. And Jim is going to pull back here. His lack of roach speed is going to hurt him a little bit. He will lose a queen, but ultimately cleans up Bly. Roach speed going to hit the map in a couple seconds, and he's counting on that to get his roaches to the Nidus. The Nidus to carry the roaches into the third of Bly. Bly getting out 5 Muta, but he's going to need to stall for time with his roaches. His third tanking a lot of damage, and Jim will be able to sack it. Jim already going for a Hydra Den here. As soon as he sees the first Muta. Jim shooting up in workers as he saturates his third. He has a surplus of Overlord, so not going to get supply blocked anytime soon from these marauding Mutalisk. By continuing to commit to them, however, JimRising's Hydra Den is up. It's beginning to get that Hydra count. Increasing as well. And Bly going to try and see how much damage he can get done. Spore Queen in the main. 2 queens moving to respond here. And the Mutas only get 2 drones. This is just too high a queen count for Bly to do any damage whatsoever. Okay, 2 Hydra go down, but he's gonna lose a Mutalisk in exchange. And Jim is pushing in with the roaches once again. Yeah, I mean, these Muta will, of course, eventually clean up the roaches, but they can't do so very quickly. That means the third gets killed once again from Bly. Wait a second. Why did JimRising tapped out? He totally had